The following video was captured by a young adult called Cameron, and he had just found his independence in life. After moving into a small house and splitting rent with his girlfriend, he was living his best life without any parents over his shoulder, commanding him 24/7. One evening, Cameron was going to bed whilst he was home alone. His friend of whom he lived with had gone to another city for the week to party. This evening was supposed to be a peaceful one, but unfortunately, it was not. Cameron reported seeing a face at the end of his bed one night, and noises on several others, and this clip is him actually catching the spirit in the act. Have a watch.
Yeah, I'm hearing some creepy ass shit, and last night I'm not even going to get into it, but last night I saw like a face at the end of my bed, literally, and I'm still freaked out because it's like I can hear like a voice, but everybody is like almost 1 o'clock in the morning right now. Everybody's asleep for school, and I'm like my hands are shaking a wee bit. It's not that bad, but still, it's I don't want to be here. It's so dark, damn. But the only light that's coming from is Nah, fuck that.
Whilst he was simply explaining his situation to the camera to send to his group chat with his best friends, the most bizarre thing happened. Some banging sounds started playing in the room, and it was evident that Cameron was the only person inside. Any form of paranormal can be intimidating to its victims. Being tormented and not knowing what is doing it to you is a surreal experience and would strike fear into the most strong-minded of people. But there is one type of incident that is far worse than the others. Most spirits are camera shy and will rarely haunt people when a camera comes out. But when they do show themselves, it makes things far worse because these ghosts have no mercy. Matt experienced one of these ghosts while he was playing on his console, and it was disturbing.
I have a video that I want to post. That picture frame, it's a picture frame, that little black thing, it's right there. That's a picture frame. It's my kids. It started sporadically. Right in front of my face, dude. It was doing that shit. Where the fuck did the pic... Where did it go?
Somehow the picture continued to spin off camera, but shockingly, this was nowhere near the most frightening thing that happened in the video. The worst part was that once the picture fell behind the desk and Matt went to recover it, it had vanished. Now you may be thinking that it must have fallen in an inconvenient place, but Matt went on to search the entire area and the picture had literally disappeared, never to be seen again. How odd. On September the 21st of 2024, Franco was all alone in his house when he started to hear some mysterious noises from his kitchen. Not wanting to be cowardly, Franco took it upon himself to creep downstairs and bring a fight to the supposed burglar that was invading his house, but little did he know that he would not be throwing any fists, rather running away.
May daga yata dun. Hindi ko makakaluskus. May nakapasok na daga ah. Uy. Biglang gumalaw. Biglang gumalaw yun. shit.
Franco was quick to figure out that nobody was in the house with him, and he must have been hearing things, but this was disproved when the chair started to move. There were definitely no living people in the house, but perhaps there were some undead ones. This was further backed up when something was launched across the room at full pace, which obviously could not have happened to itself, unless Franco was living in a cartoon. Rumor has it that he stayed locked in his room until his wife came back. Now this next clip on the video is from a woman who we have seen many videos from, and you just cannot help but feel sorry for her. Her name is Donna, and the chances are that if you are a subscriber of mine, you will have definitely heard of her name before. For you new folks, she is an innocent woman who has never done anything warranting a haunting, and she has been experiencing paranormal instances for months. The leading theory from her audience is that her husband, who had passed away a little while before the hauntings started, was doing these things to stay close to her. But whether it is her husband or not, it is scary stuff.
Hi everyone, posting another video. I've now decided to put a bunch of keys on a tack to see if they get moving banks, creaks, you name it. Not sleeping, waking up at 3 in the morning. I'll just show you, that there's nothing there. Just a regular bunch of keys. Just your average keys on a tack. There's the picture that got moved, and I'm getting a feeling again. Whoa! I knew that was going to happen. And there's nothing in my flat, is there not? No, of course not. There you have it again. Yeah, I'm just going to upload this and then I'm going to go into the front room and get the footage I've just got in there. Well, that scenario that's just happened. It's so cold in here. I hope I've got that, and I hope you see that, guys. No lies to this. This isn't a prank. This is real. This is happening to me, and it's always around here, and I don't know why. But thank you for that. Yeah. There you go, guys. You can't get no better.
Strangely, the keys fell from the place they were set up, but this did not surprise Donna. She knew that they would do this, and that was the whole point in placing them there. At this point, she has given up on attempting to banish the ghost and just lets it stand alongside her, doing as it wills. She will not hesitate to capture it in 4K, however. The following video happened to the most unexpected of victims, who had never wronged anyone in life without making amends afterwards. His name was Paul, and he and his wife Lou had both raised a loving and Christian family. Together with their 3 children, they were always happy, and whilst there were ups and downs, they always knew that they were happy deep down. Before this video was taken, not one of them had ever been anywhere near paranormal activity, let alone been in the center of it. Paul was the only one present in the house when this happened.
Look at this damn chair. Every once in a while, look at that, there it goes again. Damn. Hey now, that's not funny. Hey. Crap.
The chair continued to rock in a crazy manner, even after being asked to stop, which made Paul feel really uncomfortable. He had no idea what to do in such a situation, and his first instinct was to film it so that people would believe his story. After his family arrived home, he showed the recording to Lou, who contacted a ghost hunter through a friend. As far as we know, the ghost hunter agreed to the task, but all updates came to a halt beyond this message. so we can only hope that this poor family does not experience anything like this again. Experiencing a singular paranormal event can be enough to drive even the most brave of men insane, but experiencing a string of events is even worse. A paranormal string refers to several things happening within a short time span, and is essentially just a large spike in ghostly activities. This happened in the house of Mike, who didn't believe in ghosts or anything of the sort, so it was a strange shock to him. Furthermore, he had never experienced anything haunting before, and the house that he resided in had been his for 7 years, with no previous poltergeists recorded. How did such a house end up in a haunter video? Well, take a look for yourself.
Hej, od kilku dni dzieją się tu jakieś dziwne rzeczy w domu. Coś stuka. Kurwa, znowu. Ja pierdolę. O kurwa. O kurwa. Ja pierdolę, teraz jakieś cyrki się ze światłem dzieją. Ja pierdolę. A mać! Próbuję zasnąć. Teraz co chwilę coś mi kurwa w okno puka. Balkonowe. Nie kurwa. Pierdolę. Ja pierdolę. Nic tutaj nie ma. Kurwa mać. Mam już tego dosyć. Mam już tego kurwa dosyć. Nie mam kurwa. Mać! Nie, kurwa. Nie. Kurwa, od kilku minut znowuż coś mi... Kurwa, pierdolę. Pierdolę to, kurwa. Co jest? Nie. Potrzebuję drugą rękę. Dobra. Jestem, kurwa, w środku. Woda podkręcana. No jeszcze kurwa nie schodzi, ja pierdolę. A ta suszarka tutaj, nie wiem jakim cudem zblokowała drzwi. Ja pierdolę. O kurwa!
This paranormal string lasted a long while, and had Mike running around the whole house trying to record the next big event. As well as watching all of this unfold, Mike reported a cold feeling taking over his body, and at one point he couldn't move his fingers, which pointed at one crazy theory. Perhaps the spirit had a go at possessing him. After this string, Mike was completely puzzled and went sleepless for days. Fortunately, nothing else happened during these days of stress, so he slowly became his normal self again. After about 4 days, he made the decision to completely dismiss that whole night and pretend nothing happened. But I kid you not, just 7 minutes after concluding with this decision, the spirit striked again.
Ja pierdolę. No co do chuja. I cisza. Nie no, kurwa, wypierdalaj stąd.
This time around it dropped something from a counter, and this cold feeling waved over Mike once again. He knew that something was trying its hardest to take over his body, but thankfully he resisted, and eventually it went away. This was the latest update from Mike, and if anything else happens, I will be sure to include it in a future Haunter video. Make sure to subscribe so that if another incident does happen, you are the first to find out. The upcoming video happened to a single mother and her child, which always ups the stakes when it comes to paranormal activity. This is because it is very cruel for a spirit to target such a group, and it shows. The mother was sitting in the living room whilst the baby was in her crib, when all of a sudden the noise of the child's toy started to play. At first, the mother thought that her baby had somehow escaped her crib, to which she had to respond. But no, things were much worse than that.
My daughter's been asleep for 2 hours. She's all the way over there. How is this standing up perfectly upright and turned on? She can't reach that. Hi, baby. And she's dead asleep when that thing just came on. There's no way. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. Go back night-night. Go back night-night. I don't like this. My heart is like beating out of my chest right now. What the fuck just happened? So just for context also, because I just kind of yeeted that thing pretty quickly, so you didn't really get to see it, but we usually turn that machine on every night at bedtime. I didn't turn it on tonight. For that thing to be on, like if I were to... What the f was that? Okay, my whole body. No. What is that? Nope. Nope. I told you to get out. My heart monitor battery just drained. My sensor battery just drained. That's what's going off right now.
The baby was still in the crib, and the toy was standing upright whilst playing. But this was not the spookiest aspect. From a little ghost girl standing by the door to a child playing with a toy on the ground around 42 seconds in, this was not normal, and the mother had the baby sleep in her room from that point and forwards. Staying in a hotel is supposed to be a nice and relaxing experience for the guests, but this just is not the case when the place turns out to be haunted. Hotels are surprisingly one of the most commonly haunted places on the planet, and people have no clue as to why. Guests who have to endure these paranormal events are often offered compensation, such as future discounts or a refund. However, nobody thinks about the staff. The following video was captured by a staff member at San Antonio Hotel, and he managed to capture a bizarre event unfolding in a staff-only section. Have a look.
Alright, that's it.
Strangely, the trolley launched itself across the room out of nowhere, and the staff member was standing as perplexed as he ever had been. He usually filmed whilst he was in that area of the hotel, because it was renowned for being one of the worst locations to do work in, and this clip proved that. Using this to his advantage, the staff member who recorded the incident showed it to his colleagues and instigated a pay rise demand for the workers who had to endure life like this. Fortunately, they were given what they deserved. Christmas is one of the happiest times of the year for many people across the globe, with the majority of humans claiming it as the best day of the year. Whilst this is the case for many, though some people tend to dislike the festive season for various different reasons, but none are more justified in doing so than Ahmad. Ahmad's Christmas curse started 3 years ago when he was woken up on Christmas Eve by some loud banging sounds from the kitchen. Ever since that first haunting, Ahmad's Decembers have been riddled with paranormal activity, and the piece of footage that I am about to show you is a moment that Ahmad managed to catch this on camera. He was in his house hearing some loud sounds, so decided to take out his phone in hopes he could catch the ghost in the act, and sure enough, he did.
Et là c'est tôt, il doit être 8h, 8h30. J'entends des bruits en bas, c'est ma copine hein, qui fait du rangement. Et c'est en haut que ça se passe en fait. Je sais pas. Il y a quelqu'un ici? Ok. Est-ce que tu peux refaire bouger le Père Noël? Tu peux faire tomber quelque chose d'autre peut-être? J'ose pas aller là-bas. Il n'y a personne derrière moi. Je tiens à le dire, je suis tout seul.
The spirit oddly decided to push over the Christmas decoration of Santa Claus, which was a strange decision to say the least. As well as this, it created several banging sounds, but at this point Ahmad was used to it. The main source of his confusion was the fact that the Santa decoration was the thing that was interfered with. Could this have been a message to Ahmad? Or was it simply the first thing the ghost sought its eyes on Antoine? Let me know what you think of the situation in the comments. On June 17th of 2021, an iconic paranormal investigation took place. It was conducted by Yama, an Asian college student who believed he had been haunted for half a year, but was too frightened to inform his parents of the situation, due to them finding him psychopathic, which is common in these videos of ours. However, one day Yama thought it would be a smart idea to set up cameras all around his house in order to catch this spirit in the act. And sure enough, he caught what he wanted to. All sorts of hauntings went on here. and it is safe to say that the ghost had a fairly active night. If you were to create a paranormal activity graph for this house, this sequence would break the charts because so much went on throughout such a short time span. After the event, Yama sent the footage to his parents and uploaded it to social media, where it would smash 800,000 views and finally get him the help he deserves. He was able to visit several priests and get in touch with the best ghost hunters, all down to the belief of the people, and if he hadn't have caught this, then who knows where he would be now. Chloe and Sharon were two employees of a local business, but there was a special twist to their place of work. The people who called it their place of employment all also deemed it as the most haunted building in the entirety of Wales, and you are about to see why firsthand. The lore of this building is actually unknown, but the owners of the business purchased it 15 years ago, meaning the hauntings must have started fairly recently, considering they reported no problems when first operating there. The poltergeist activity in this building has led to several raises being handed out to employees and constant rehiring due to people quitting the job, so the owners do plan on moving out soon, but not soon enough to stop this happening.
Chloe, you're gonna have to go and have a look, honestly. Please.
Don't fucking film me.
I am. I'm here. No, we're the only ones here.
Hello? Hello?
Oh! No! Oh my, Chloe, go in, Chloe. Go in.
There's actually no one in here.
No, wait. I'll have a look at the bar now. What the hell?
After some peer pressure from Sharon, Chloe approached the banging, and to her dismay, no source was found. They both went to the owners of the business, who said that unfortunately, they could not do anything about it, and that they were trying their absolute hardest to relocate the facility. This led to Sharon quitting her job, and Chloe demanding a pay rise, to which she was granted a very small one. Who knew that doing something as simple as purchasing a guitar from a garage sale could be the reason you have to put up with a spirit for a few weeks? Well, to the misfortune of a man called Seth, a TikToker to be exact, this is exactly what happened to him. He does a pretty good job at explaining the situation at the start of the clip, so I am going to let him do his thing, but I must say it was very crazy towards the end.
I've never had an issue with ghosts or any weird, unexplainable stuff in my house, but I bought a guitar the other week at a garage sale from this old lady down the street, and every time I pick it up or strum it or play it, really weird shit happens, and I'll show you. It's some Lotus, like very 80s looking guitar, and every time I strum, like that, shit like that happens every time I mess with this thing. Like that.
For some inexplicable reason, the guitar managed to cause all sorts of havoc whenever Seth played it. This was obviously a major problem, because the whole point of purchasing a guitar is, of course, to play it, so the fact he could not do this was frustrating. The most logical answer to the whole situation was that the person selling the guitar in the garage sale knew of its haunting and wanted to sell it so that they could get it off their back. Seth dumped the guitar outside of their house the next day, and they probably weren't annoyed at all because they could sell it onto a new victim and still keep Seth's hard-earned cash. Everybody knows that if something paranormal is going to go down, then there is only 1 hour it will do so, 3 a.m. You've all seen the videos. Almost every single ghostly event happens at this hour, so much that it has been deemed as the witching hour by most. If people could bet money on an hour for ghosts to appear, it would be 3 a.m. You get the point. Anyways, it was this time when a poor mother and father received a notification from Ring, a camera company that they were specifically using to monitor their baby. Expecting it to be the baby crying, the duo opened their phones to find something horrible. First of all, the baby's toy started playing randomly, and that isn't as scary until you understand that it had no batteries. The parents always took the batteries out of the toys that had them in fear that their child could choke, and whilst responsible, it did cause a fright here. Furthermore, some sort of being must have rocked the crib because they cannot do that on their own accord. On a whole, this video was very spooky, especially considering the fact that whatever was behind it decided to make its victim a baby. Kaylee has been on several past videos for this channel, and it is safe to say her story is a long one. However, before I play the next clip in her saga, I will briefly summarize what has happened to the poor woman. Roughly 1.5 years ago, she made the decision to purchase a new house. This was meant to be a wholesome move for her family so that they could all experience a fresh start and life elsewhere. However, it did not take long at all for them to realize it was haunted. All sorts of creepy stuff started going down, and it was only a matter of time before Kaylee started to capture things on camera. In the last video, we showcased a couple of the things that she managed to get on tape, and this one is going to be no different.
Why I came up here is because I need to grab it to charge. Chain check. Just gonna fucking... Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. I'm freaking myself out. I'm literally scared to open this door right now. Did you guys see how that door like shut fast the first time when I went to open it? Okay. At least the door is still open. Everything's fine.
The door continued to open and close, and in case you are new to the channel, then I will let you know that the room behind the door was undoubtedly the most haunted part of the house. This is why Kaylee seemed so collected during such a dire situation, but trust me, she was panicking deep down, especially once it happened again. This situation is horrible for Kaylee, and all we can do is leave her in our prayers. Brian was a man from Belgium who, before all of the following drama, had no belief or faith towards paranormal activity actually being real. However, like most victims end up doing, he quickly changed his mind. Over the last few days, he has constantly been noticing his window opening and closing by itself, which has reasonably put him on edge. One day, he decided to see if he could capture the phenomenon live, and whilst he failed to do so, he caught something new happening.
There are some weird noises coming from my window. The last few days my windows open by itself. I don't know what's the problem, so... Oh my god. My god. Oh my god, what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh shit.
One of the books from the bookshelf slowly moved itself off the shelf until it eventually collapsed to the ground in an almighty thump. Brian was fortunate enough to have caught this on camera, or else nobody would have taken his word for it. I will be surprised if he does not begin the ghost hunting process within a week. One important thing that everybody needs to take into account when their house is under a haunting is to only try to expel the spirit if you are a professional. Attempting to deter a ghost from your house and being underqualified could result in angering the ghost and causing it to become even more of a problem. And this was the case for the male in our next clip, Waya. Over a period of 2 months, Waya and his family had been victims of a haunting, and eventually he decided that he had had enough with the spirit. He was not going to allow it to torment him and his family for any longer, so took it upon himself to banish the poltergeist from the house, and this was what happened.
Oh my god, you guys. So freaking... I just woke up and there's freaking noises going on. Dude, guys, that is really fucking creepy. If there's any spirits in here and you want to communicate with me, I hope you know that you are not allowed in my house. No spirits are allowed in my house.
Immediately after commanding the ghost to leave, the paranormal activity rates spiked, and all kinds of items were launched to the ground. Things get worse when you realize that this was only the spirit's immediate reaction. After this short spike, Waya and his family would notice much higher activity rates than usual in the coming days, meaning that all he had done was frustrate it and cause it to have some sort of outburst. You should learn from Waya's mistakes and always call a ghost hunter or your local church for assistance in these scenarios, rather than take the task up for yourself. On February 26th of 2021, a French man by the name of Antoine was home alone. This was because his wife was working whilst he was left home to take care of their dog. When this happened, things usually went smoothly, as he would casually sit back and enjoy television for the rest of the day. Little did he know that this time around things would not be nearly as relaxed as they should have been. 10 minutes into being home alone, the clip that you are about to see took place, and Antoine claimed that it kept him from staying in the house with his own company for a long time.
Il se passe encore des choses. Putain, lui, encore ce truc qui s'allumait. Putain, j'en ai marre. Y'a quelqu'un ici? Oh putain! Qui est là?
First of all, some noises started playing as if somebody else was in the house, and when Antoine went to investigate the scene to find the source, nothing was found. Something did happen though. The supposed spirit pushed the chair to the ground in a sudden shove, and Antoine knew that something was up, but he put it off. Just 2 days later, this would prove to have been the wrong decision though, because on February 28th of 2021, this happened.
Donc bonsoir à tous, toujours ces phénomènes. Ça se concentre dans la cuisine apparemment, donc je vais essayer de garder mon calme et essayer de communiquer avec l'entité ou je ne sais quoi qui s'y trouve. Il n'y a pas de trucage, hein. Je préfère vous le dire parce qu'il y a beaucoup de sceptiques dans les commentaires. Donc bonsoir, est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un ici? Ok. Merci. Est-ce que vous voulez vous montrer ou parler, s'il vous plaît? Ok. Je sais pas si faudrait parler ce genre d'esprit. Merci en tout cas.
This time, both Antoine and his wife were home, but she was taking a shower. It was while she was doing this regular day-by-day activity that the spirit took its opportunity to strike her husband once again. All kinds of things happened in the kitchen, and once she exited the shower, he showcased the video evidence to her. They are now in the process of banishing the poltergeist, and we advise you to all wish them luck in the comments. Many people argue that fire or the wheel were mankind's most crucial inventions to our development, and whilst this might be true, people need to highlight some more modern inventions. For example, the camera. Cameras are everywhere nowadays and have a wide array of uses from preventing crime all the way to catching poltergeists in the act, and the very short clip that we are about to watch showcases the latter. In this spine-chilling camera shot, one of the most inexplicable and spooky apparitions happen right in front of a camera, and it is very hard to write this off as anything but a paranormal instance. As you could clearly see, some sort of strange and mysterious head poked around the window of the door, and if you look very closely, it is safe to say it was uncanny. Furthermore, that conference room was completely empty, and that was a guarantee, so no humans were in there. This meant that it was most certainly an apparition, and most employees tend to feel uncomfortable in this office since that moment. However, some of them did not believe the tale, and were even confused as to which room the event occurred in. It was because of this that the employee who set up the camera was forced into the conference room to explain the tale in another video format. Surprisingly for her, though, things did not go as smoothly as she thought they would have.
Okay, so I'm doing the trash. This is the same room that had that face right here. And I was cleaning this bathroom, and I had my phone on this cart. Right? I just heard.
This looked like a normal room, and nothing like it was the aftermath of a haunting apparition. Despite its deceiving looks, though, it definitely packed a scare. The woman heard the word "hello" whispered down her ear and could not take it any longer. After freezing out of terror for a brief moment, she ended the recording and fled the room, never to enter it again with her manager's approval. This is Javier, and Javier lived in a really small room for quite some time, and whilst we don't know the real reason for this, we can predict some reasons why. The main prediction is that since he moved out with his parents, he could not afford a good lifestyle, so outright purchased this place as a placeholder. But who knows? What we do know, though, is that the place is most certainly haunted, and the clip, which is about to be showcased, turns that supposed theory into fact.
Son las 4 17 de la mañana. Están golpeando de nuevo la puerta, la caseta. Que escuchen ustedes de nuevo para que vean que esto no es un juego. Que ahí siempre golpean 10 o 5 minutos y después se detienen. Conche tu madre, se acaba de mover el vaso, se acaba de mover ese lapicero, acaba de hacer un movimiento hacia allá. Bueno, y ahora acaba de escuchar que golpearon atrás mío. Bueno, hay que mantener la calma. Si te pasa algo de esto alguna vez, hay que mantener la calma. Salí acá afuera y miren cómo está. Dieron vuelta a la barrera. No sé qué mierda pasó. Escucho un golpe. Escucho ustedes mismos. Ahí estamos, vamos. Vamos a hacer una moto ahí. Vamos a estar la pluma ahí, botada ahí. Pero nada más, no sé qué hace los ruidos. No he querido exponerme mucho a este tipo de energías. De hecho, casi no he salido ni siquiera al baño acá. Bueno, chicos, si alcanza a ver bien, temprano un choque fortísimo. Vengo a ver acá cómo quedó, fíjense. Por esa parte donde está la barrera ahí, pasó un camión a otro lado, no sé si era un fallecido. Pasar algún par de veces una sombra negra, no sé si era hombre o mujer, humano o no humano, pero he visto pasar una sombra negra. Así que bueno, voy a hacer una ronda rápida aquí y voy a sacar unas fotos por aquí a ver si veo algo raro. Alcancé a ver algo, la primera foto se ve como una mancha, en la segunda ya se ve un poco más claro, no sé qué es, pero se ve como una forma rara. No está corriendo nada de viento y se acaba de dar vuelta esta barrera sola. No anda nadie más. Se estaba ahí, se estaba acá.
First of all, the small pot of what seemed to be crayons moved by itself, which, as you should be aware of, is not a scenario which should be happening. Furthermore, there was a repetitive knock outside of the room at the exact same time, and when Javier turned around to hopefully see a visitor, he saw nobody. Instead of following the logical solution of calling for assistance and leaving the place, Javier did the unexpected and ventured outside his room in the middle of the night, whilst almost nobody would be passing by in case of emergency. Did this turn out to be as silly of an idea as it was on paper? Well, I will let you answer that one for yourself.
Escucha claramente adentro el sonido, el ladrido. Como pueden ver aquí no hay nadie, el refri no hay nada dentro del cubo. Miren, salgo de la cocina, cierro la puerta, escuchen. Y no hay nada, puta madre, nada.
Whenever Javier left the room, he heard banging coming from inside, and whenever he went inside, it came to a halt. It was evident that nothing else was in the room, so this should have been impossible. But when ghosts come into play, nothing is impossible. As well as this, there is a slight crack in the door as he leaves it open, and what looks like an apparition could be seen hiding within it. This was very spooky to say the least, but not spooky enough to force him out of his property. You see, right next to his room was the place where he made all his money, operating a barrier, which I assume defends some form of border. It was while he was on duty in this system that the next strange event took place.
la caseta es bastante común. Puede haber sido cualquier persona al que va pasando o qué sé yo. Están golpeando. No esperé nada, 20 minutos. Acaba de caer una niebla, voy a hacer una ronda. Ahora logro 3 de la mañana y se ve como una silueta de un hombre parada allá. Está muy lejos, por eso no se ve tan bien. Le voy a dar todo el zoom para que vean ahí. Ya no logro ver al hombre, pero la niebla probablemente lo esté tapando ahí.
Bueno, no se movió nada.
This time the banging happened there instead, and some sort of figure could be seen across the road. Hopefully this was just a human standing by and wondering what to do with themselves, but something in the back of my mind tells me that only a spirit would be psycho enough to stand there doing nothing like that. The following video was recorded inside the house of Sajid, a married man with no children. He and his wife had been out of the house for a good few hours doing some well-needed shopping, but they had no idea what was waiting for them at home. They expected to walk into their house and finally have some relaxation, but relaxation is a spirit's least favorite word, and this clip shows that. After walking into the house, Sajid and his wife heard a loud bang that came from the kitchen, and it sounded as if a metal pipe had collapsed to the ground. Now, of course, things falling is pretty normal, but when he and his wife looked inside the kitchen, it was an absolute state, and at first, they thought an animal was in the house. To their dismay, this was not the case, and they found this out when the cabinet doors slammed closed. Truly, a horrifying experience for the couple. Messing around in an abandoned place of religion is not a smart idea whatsoever, but the man in the next clip of this video seemingly didn't have a care in the world. He was called Mario, and the day before this clip, he thought that it would be a fun idea to explore an abandoned Catholic church. Surprisingly, whilst he was at the church, nothing spooky happened, and Mario was starting to become pretty convinced that the paranormal world was not real. He called his church trip quits and went back to his house, but the very next night, the poltergeists of the church came to prove him wrong.
Footsteps, so like scratches on my door, and like we trying to figure out what it is, but hold on, you hear that? Hold on, wait a minute, hold on, shine over there, baby, shine over there. It's like, oh my God, something is, I don't know if you guys could hear that, but there's like paranormal activity. Oh shit, baby. Oh my God, baby. Come on, stop, baby. Baby, stop. Oh shit, Jesus Christ. What is that? Oh, baby. Baby, what is that? Oh God, baby. Come on, we gotta stop this.
Before the clip began, Mario and his wife could hear scratching noises from their bedroom door, and this frightened them, because when they opened the door expecting to see an animal, nothing was on the other side. He started filming, and this is when he managed to capture 3 items falling to the ground without any sort of forceful interaction, which completely defies physics. This was most certainly the act of a spirit. On December the 16th of 2023, a Spanish security guard was working her night shift. Unlike most employees across the world, this worker loved the night shift because as a security guard, she rarely ever had to face any issues. All she did was sit around in an office on her phone whilst she got paid. On the rare occasion that something did happen, it would just be a few teenagers doing teenager stuff, such as graffiti or breaking into the hospital. What happened on this fateful night was much different though. No amount of training could have prepared any security guard for what this poor one was about to go through. Have a watch.
Esto lo voy a dejar registrado porque son 16 de diciembre, 11 de la noche. Bueno, mira, esta wea está pasando hace mucho rato y yo acá estoy sola, weón. No hay nadie.
The wheelchair slowly began to move, and towards the end of the clip, it jolted forwards towards the office of the security guard. This gave her the chills for obvious reasons, because for all she knew, whatever was controlling that wheelchair was looking at her, and she had no idea. The chances are that it was an ex-patient at the hospital who had unfortunately passed away and roamed its walls out of pure anger. Any time awake past 1 a.m. can feel like the most eerie and mysterious of times. The fact that barely anybody else in your city, let alone your street, is awake can spook anybody out. But there is one other thing that this time period is known for. When it gets really late into the night, it is known that all sorts of spirits come out to roam the streets and cause havoc. The reason for this is unknown, but there are countless videos on the internet to prove it, including this one. The time is 1 a.m. and two friends are having a sleepover when they realize that Will's apartment must be haunted.
Alright guys, it's about 1 o'clock. This has been happening every night. About this time we hear a noise. Not really sure what it is, but it's starting to freak us out. See if we can maybe get it on film. You hear that?
What is that?
Oh, that was a noise.
I'll look over here. I don't hear it anymore. James Quad. I think it's stopped. Oh my god!
They both heard noises which led them to a part of the apartment, and when they reached this area, the sounds stopped. It was clear that something was attempting to lure them to that location, so it was just a matter of why. But this question was not going to be left hanging in the air for much longer. A ton of items collapsed to the ground on camera, and Will and his friend were extremely scared. They both ran to their beds and slept under the covers all night, never wanting to experience anything like this ever again. Donna Ayres is the woman who captured this next clip that you are going to see shortly, and she has appeared on countless haunter videos. Now, whenever someone who frequently appears on the channel comes up again, I tend to give a brief summary of their story to you, but Donna's is extraordinarily simple. She has no idea why she is being haunted, but she has uploaded several videos to YouTube showing her tough life. This video here is no different, so take a look.
Just done Ouija board, guys, and my guitar started singing, so I just thought I'd capture it. There you go, I don't know if you can hear it, but... it's singing. And before you say there's no one behind there. Look.
I don't know if you can hear it, guys, but my guitar's playing. So does someone want to explain how this is possible then? Bit strange if you ask me, mate. And there's something here, I can feel it. I can feel it. Is that it? There you go, another one.
Somehow the guitar plays on its own accord for about a minute before finally coming to a halt. Furthermore, Donna claimed that she felt the presence of a spirit beyond the strange guitar solo and could almost sense the chills. Donna will more than likely post more paranormal encounters to her channel, so make sure to subscribe to me because I will always further document them here. The following video was captured by James, who had gone through a pretty rough last few months to say the least. From his breakup with his girlfriend to his father unfortunately passing away, it seemed like the world was slowly turning against him. This rough patch sadly led James to being dependent on alcoholic beverages, with his favorite drink being vodka. He almost always had a bottle of the drink with him, as well as a shot glass, and this was no different in the video that you are about to see. But as well as this, something very mysterious happened.
I took a shot. Do you guys see that? I took a shot. Above, below, around, all the around. I stopped drinking for a little bit because a knife flipped out of a thing.
Strangely, the vodka glass moved without any human interaction, and James made sure to show us that no strings were attached or anything else that could have interfered. At first, James did not believe that what he was seeing was real because he was in a drunk state of mind. But after checking the footage back, he realized that this was far more than a drunk fantasy. We all know that dogs are known to protect their family from all sorts of dangers and are fearless when it comes to making sure nobody comes close to their household. This is amazing and is a reason for many people owning these animals. But in the upcoming video, there is something off about the dog. Some important information before watching the clip is that the dog is called Megie, and she is not a barker whatsoever. Her owners go as far as to say she would not hurt a fly, which made this interaction off-putting to say the least.
Literally, I don't even know what to do anymore. My dog has been barking late at night. As you can see, there's nothing there. And I'm scared.
As you can see, nothing was there, and the owner even decided to check the Ring doorbell camera to see if anything or anyone was outside that the dog could sense. There was no one. Eventually, Megie stopped her barking and went back to her normal state, but I can't help but assume that this was a poltergeist that she was having a go at. Josh Robillard was a regular person in a regular house, but when it comes to the paranormal world, even the most normal of people can become the victims. The closest Josh was to believing in spirits was his religion, Christianity, but he still doubted that people with an afterlife could just roam the earth with free will. It was late at night, and Josh was doing some work on his laptop when he heard some sounds coming from downstairs. As he should have, Josh went to investigate the sounds, but little did he know that this was not a squatter, not a rodent. It was something far worse.
Okay, I definitely heard something down here. Banging or something.
From the swinging chandelier to the doll moving by itself, everything about this video was off-putting, but the worst part was that the cross was flipped upside down. This is a sign that whatever entity was doing this was on the side of the devil, which obviously adds much more stakes to the whole scenario. If this was a one-time thing, then Josh decided that he would leave it in the past and make sure to only mention it in prayers to God. But unfortunately, a similar event happened the next day.
Okay, I am completely alone right now. And I just started hearing noises coming upstairs, so I'm gonna go check it out. I'm so tired of this. So tired of this. What in the heck? What was that? Oh my goodness, this was not like this before. It's not like this at all. Good grief. And the cross is upside down. Oh my goodness.
After this, he called a ghost hunter to come and resolve the problem, and we received no updates after this. All that we can do is hope Josh is fine, because nobody deserves to go through something of such magnitude. Bruno and his wife Soraya were both at home getting ready to enjoy a nice evening together. It was rare that they managed to get peace and quiet all night, because they were the parents of 3 children. But fortunately, they were all at a camp with their local scouting group, so Bruno and Soraya could enjoy themselves without any responsibilities. Soraya was sitting at the dining table flipping her son's toy skateboard, waiting for Bruno to choose a movie to watch. This always took a long time because he was so ridiculously indecisive, but before he could come to a decision, this happened.
Se movió la silla.
¿Leal?
Sí.
De las cores.
Tipo, es de arquiteta.
De las cores.
Soraya was clearly freaked out by all of this sudden activity and shouted to Bruno for help. She half expected him to have more of an idea as to what to do next, but he was just as clueless in this situation. We can only hope that they acted sensibly from here, because we have no more intel on the situation. If I could give you one singular piece of advice to take with you into a paranormal situation, it would be to not tell a spirit what to do, because this can cause all sorts of havoc. Just like humans, spirits take being commanded around as some sort of disrespectful and objectifying way to treat someone, so they typically get worse when given orders. The man that captured the following video most certainly did not have this knowledge with him, because he took it upon himself to encourage his haunter to push a can. Have a watch.
Guys, last night I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard some pounding. I think there might be a ghost in my house. I have a can set up right there. Hang on. Right there's a can. And I'm gonna see if I can get this spirit to knock the can down. So, here goes nothing, I guess. Remember, there's a can sitting right there. If there's a spirit here with me, I've put a can on top of my stand. Can you please knock the can down? Oh my god. What the fuck, guys? Oh my god. I'm fucking shaking. There's the can. It was sitting right there. Like and subscribe for more.
Now the ghost did end up following this order, but based on future updates, the hauntings became much worse after this incident. The man who filmed the video is currently in the process of moving out from the house due to the sheer amount of activity, and who knows what he will do next. Experiencing paranormal activity is definitely rare, but experiencing a sequence of activity is far more impressive. Sometimes ghosts must have way too much anger inside of them because they do multiple things during one haunting sequence. Fortunately, our next victim, called Zachary, managed to capture his haunting sequence in 4K, and it actually took place within the premise of his work. He worked in a factory, and at the time of the incident, he was down in the storage room doing some tasks. Luckily, he was filming a video for his friend to showcase how boring his job was, and if it wasn't for that, then we would not have received this fascinating piece of footage. All sorts of crazy stuff happened down there, and Zachary was utterly mesmerized by what was going on. After ending the recording, he took no hesitation in evacuating the scene and informing his boss of the situation. The boss watched the footage and believed Zachary, but would not be able to do anything about it. Nothing awful has happened in that room since, but the memories still haunt Zachary every time he is forced to venture the area. Kira was an innocent woman who had never wronged anyone in her life, at least not to an extent that would have warranted a haunting. This is why she and everybody who knew her were so confused about her recent stories involving objects moving on their own, voices from right beside her, and tons of electricity problems. The stories were so unbelievable that her eldest son actually ended up booking some therapy for her out of pure worry, which was rather sweet. However, all sweetness was taken away when you realize she was not crazy all along. 2 days before her therapeutic appointment, Kira found motivation to prove she was not going insane because she didn't want her relatives to waste all of their money attempting to diagnose her. This is the context of the video of which I am about to show you, where she is clearly trying to catch the spirit red-handed.
Twice it has moved. I literally thought I heard something then. If there's anybody in here who can move the ornament under the TV stand, can you give it a little push for me? Or can you pull it, or can you pull it back? Just give it a little pull for me if you can just touch it. Oh my god. What the fuck? What the fuck? That is like, there's nothing on it. There's nothing on it at all.
After being politely asked to do so, as you should ask a spirit, it decided to move the ornament without causing any damage to it. And inside her head, Kira was having a party. She spoke to her sister and asked how to send the video to everyone, and she got help doing so. The fact that she knew little about technology led to everybody believing the video could not have been edited, and she was believed at last with the priest coming out to offer her help in the coming months. On June the 25th of 2024, Beto was simply trying to have a shower when everything turned against him. The time was 10 p.m, so a regular time for an evening shower. He had allowed his son to have a shower first because he had school in the morning, and it was finally his turn after waiting, but the relieving shower was clearly not meant to be, because immediately after entering the room, something happened that warranted Beto to take out his phone. It is important to note that no items, or the house itself, have had any paranormal past recorded, and this was a first-time event.
No seas mamón.
This terrified Beto, but he made sure to film it for long enough so that it was undeniably real. He knew the power of social media, so uploaded it to TikTok, hoping he was going to be the next big thing. Whilst he failed to become the next big thing, he did end up with 12,000 likes, which he was fairly happy about, but was worth a haunting, probably not. The worst paranormal experiences are always the ones that end up including children because you know that they will have done nothing worthy of a punishment at a magnitude of a haunting. They can barely grasp the concept of the real world, let alone the concept of the underworld, so you always have to feel bad. Well, in this clip, the family of 3 have a baby included, and an evil spirit refuses to let it get any rest. Take a look.
Vente. Le están tocando.
Sí. La niña empezó a llorar.
Ya no haga mucho ruido para ver quién es. No prendas. ¿Cómo rápido? Está bien inquieta, ¿verdad? Sí. Ya son casi las 3 de la mañana. ¿Dónde están las llaves? Hoy. Ahí quédate, espérame. No hay nadie. No hay nadie. No, uy, otra vez. No se ve nadie. ¿Será? Ya es nadie, Ceci. Yo creo que ya nos subimos a dormir. Ya. Vámonos. Vámonos porque igual le voy a enseñar la hora. Siempre pasa lo mismo. Miren. Son casi las 3 de la mañana. 25. Siempre hace lo mismo, ¿verdad? Ya vamos a... voy a cerrar otra vez.
The loud banging really upset the baby because for one, it will have had sensitive ears, and for two, at a time such as 20 to 3 at night, it should have been fast asleep. What made things strange was that the father, Amro, continued to open the curtains covering the window where the banging was coming from, and whenever he did, it stopped. Now, obviously, the house being haunted was a huge issue for the family. It's hard to skip past the fact that an entity of which nobody can see is taking your place as residents, let alone not letting you sleep. Things became much worse, however, when the father recorded this next clip, where he discovered that his car was also under the same effect.
Hijo de... ¿Viste? Ya, mamá, ya. Por la llave de la troca. ¿Ya vieron? Las 3. Las 3. Las 3. Siempre a la misma hora. Perdón, estoy algo nervioso. Sí, checa aquí. ¡Uy, cabrón! A ver, gente, esta camioneta está descompuesta. La tengo hasta enlonada, o sea, ya sé que no van a querer muchos, pero es lo que hay. Tengo que quitarle todo esto porque, uy, clarito, vi algo allá adentro, pasó algo volando. La niña está alterada. Lo siento, no podía dejar la camioneta así. Uy, cabrón, me asusta esta cosa, güey. Esta camioneta realmente no sirve. O sea, sí sirve, pero vean, o sea, está desmantelada. Hace mucho frío aquí. Vean, tiene tiempo que no se usa, o sea, está toda polveada. Y vean si gira. Estaba apagada. Y aquí está la llave. Tiene tiempo que no la ocupamos. Ya. Me dice mi esposa. Está muy peligrosa esta zona, gente. Yo me voy a meter. Yo sé que muchos me dijeron que no tenía que abrir, pero ya no ve. Tienen que checar el video porque para mí que no estaba en su lugar. Espérame, voy a amarrar. voy a meter, gente. Pues diario voy a documentar. Diario y pues bueno. Ya me voy a dormir.
Despite the car not even being turned on and the windscreen wipers being completely shut off, they started wiping the car, which meant that some form of exterior force was forcing this to happen. Whether this force was a spirit or not, we have no idea, but considering that the knocking happened at the same hour, it makes a lot of sense. But if that still failed to convince you that it was a spirit that this family was being forced to handle, watch this final video.
Johnny, están tocando.
¿Ah?
Están tocando.
¿Quién es?
Nadie, mamá.
¿Están tocando?
Sí.
Ah, sí, no manches.
Escucha.
Otra vez, güey, a ver. Dame.
Sí.
A ver, aguanta. Espérame aquí, aguántame. No manches. Otra vez no. Son las 3 de la mañana, gente. Son casi las 3 de la mañana. ¿Qué quieres? ¿Qué es lo que quieres? Deja de molestar. Quiero que te largues. ¿Qué es eso? Oh, no manches. Oh, no manches. ¡Ceci! ¡Ceci!
This time, a visible apparition could be seen of the spirit, and it looked like some sort of ghostly skull, which is not what you would imagine a ghost to look like. Furthermore, at the end of the video, the father's tears were flattening live without any real reason to do so, which surely would have been a spiritual cause. The following video was uploaded to YouTube roughly 7 years ago by a young boy living with his parents like all children do. This meant that he did not make his own rules and unfortunately had a curfew at 10 p.m. and abided by it. It was one night at exactly 10 p.m. that some strange stuff began to happen though. Before I show you the clip, there is a bit of backstory behind it. The doll was a purchase of the boy from a local garage sale, and there was not much left once he arrived. He wasn't interested in anything at the sale initially, but he felt sorry for the woman hosting the sale, who was clearly in a poorer position, so bought the doll for a cheap price. This turned out to be the worst decision of the boy's life. Have a watch.
Alright, YouTube. I was just sitting down, getting ready to go to bed, and the fucking music box up there just starts playing. Sorry, I'm a little sick. I was trying to rest, but, you know, after putting this fucking doll back on the shelf, that hand decided to fucking move, and I put that there just to, you know, maybe these two things talk to each other? But no, the old lady that this belonged to, actually belonged to her mother, and she said that she calls it squeaky because at night you could hear the doll squeak, which I did hear it squeak. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit, did you guys see that? My hands are shaking. Sorry. Let me switch the other hand. Holy shit, the hand just moved. This thing at night squeaks, and when I put it inside that chest, so I thought, you know, maybe I'll give it a second chance and, you know, put it back on the shelf. But clearly the thing wants to start the music box back up, because, you know, that's a great idea, you know, just to stick it back on a shelf next to a creepy box and stick it next to a doll head. So, you know, that's a good job for me. I'm actually probably going to lock this thing back up. Its hand fucking moved out more, dude. Screw that shit. You could stay up on the shelf, because you're not gonna fucking turn on a music box like this motherfucker in my fucking hand did. I'm getting the key to open up this chest, because, fuck that shit. You, Squeaky. You could stay inside this chest. I don't want to hear you squeak. I don't want to hear you making noise.
The first red flag was that the owner used to call it Squeaky because it tended to make squeaking sounds, and the fact that the boy knew this information before purchasing the doll makes him really silly and accountable for his situation. Whilst he was going to bed, the music box besides the doll started to play, and this of course prevented him from getting any rest, so he stood up to film the incident. As he was recording, the hand of the doll moved on camera, which was highly shocking and caught both him and us off guard. Finally, the head fell from the top of the cabinet, which was not having any visible force act on it, making this whole series of events odd. After the recording ended, the dolls were all locked in some chest-looking drawer, before we never received any other updates. We should be hoping that the person who experienced all of that is now safe and sound. Nothing beats the feeling of coming home from a long day of work to kick back and get on your gaming console with the boys. Whether it be a PlayStation or an Xbox, this is a feeling that many people across the world can relate to, including the man in our next clip. He was working a really late shift and could not wait until he was allowed to go home and play on his PlayStation 5. His job was in a fast food chain, so it was very unenjoyable, and the moment he arrived home, he pushed the power button. Strangely though, after doing this, he felt some sort of cold air brush past him, and from that point forwards, he felt really unsafe. Out of panic, he took out his phone and opened the camera app before hitting record, and you are about to see what he was able to capture.
There to go. And I come back and something is say something, I'm giving up on you. But anywhere I would have followed you. That's my kid, dude. Don't. You're not fucking serious. You're not fucking serious. I mean, it's nothing. Actually, how the fuck am I gonna get that back up? Goddamn. Jesus Christ.
For some reason, as soon as he started to record his surroundings, in case something bad happened to him, something horrible occurred. One of the pictures on his wall began to move without any human interaction, and this was not just any picture, it was one of his children. The fact that the spirit chose to tamper with that image must have had some sort of deeper meaning behind it, and the man couldn't help but think that they were in danger. He called his mother, who was looking after them due to his late shift, but no response came back. The chances are that she was just asleep and everything was okay, but due to a lack of future updates, we have no idea whether anything bad happened. On June the 9th of 2024, an unexplainable video was uploaded to TikTok that would disturb thousands of viewers. It took place in an Asian household where a man who was given the feminine nickname Fran lived alone. There were many perks to living alone, such as peace and quiet at will, but also many negatives, with no aid in emergencies being one of the main ones. I am not sure whether the video that you are about to watch would be considered as an emergency, but it was definitely enough to put poor Fran into a state of fear. The time was 12:23 p.m. and it had just turned afternoon when a seemingly normal day turned into one that nobody could even dream of. Ghost hunting is an extremely dangerous job that comes with many risks, but with high risk comes high reward. The job pays a lot of money, which is why we see so many people partaking. But at the end of it all, is it really worth it? Meet the Midwest ghost hunter, an experienced and high-end hunter who every client would dream of having. The following series of clips comes from one of his hunts in a house known as the Boyd House, which is undoubtedly haunted. Have a watch.
Hello? Is anybody here? I don't know if you remember me, but I visited here before. Not too long ago. If you remember me, could you give me a sign? Minnie or Fred Eckhart? Are you here? I'm in your lovely home. Are you okay with me visiting? If you can hear me, could you make a sound somewhere in this house? It's awfully quiet in here to start. I'm not really feeling any. What the hell was that? Hello? Oh my god, that sounded like a woman's voice. I heard it through the headphones. It sounded like it was coming from in there. Minnie, was that you? Could you speak again?
The Midwest ghost hunter was purposefully attempting to get some form of reaction from the spirits who haunted this house, and due to his expertise, he managed to get one. After asking any entities in the building to make a noise, there was silence for a brief moment before the voice of a woman echoed down his headphones. The woman behind this voice was more than likely the one who passed away in the home and made it haunted in the first place. Just to be certain, though, the ghost hunter needed to continue this exploration.
If there's anyone in here, could you show yourself to me? Minnie, are you still in here? Could you appear by that radio that you turned on earlier? Weird. I got like an orb like right next to it. Gone. That was interesting. Could you appear by the radio? Damn, I still can't get over that from earlier. That radio turning on. That was so insane. Is there anybody upstairs? Oh, I thought I heard a creak up there. Hello? Whoa, what the fuck? Dude, I just saw a fucking shadow. Holy shit. It was right up here. Hello? There was somebody standing like right there. Who's up here? I just saw somebody here. There was literally a dark mass standing at the top of these steps. I saw it in the flash of the camera. I'm gonna look and see if I can find it. Oh my God, what the fuck is that? Dude, it's right there. It's like a shadow. I caught that in the photo.
I managed to capture this photo of a dark humanoid mass standing at the top of the staircase. Notice how the figure is transparent and possesses non-physical qualities. Was this the spirit of Fred Eckhart staring me down from above?
Besides claiming that the radio managed to turn itself on, this video had undeniable proof that someone or something was in the house alongside the man. Whilst he was taking photos of almost everything he could, he caught a human outline in shadow form at the top of the stairs and decided to check the camera gallery to be sure that he was not hallucinating or anything of the sort. That shadow was in fact real and enough to instill fear into anybody. If it was able to frighten the Midwest ghost hunter, it would have frightened you for sure. Emily and her dog Rosie were both home alone, waiting for the man of the house to arrive, when a very peculiar event happened. The time was 10 p.m., and this was usually an uneventful period for Emily, who had normally finished her work for the day and spent the time relaxing. This time around, things would be far different though, and it would all be centered around her little dog, Rosie. They were both listening to music and doing nothing at all when this disturbing video was captured on camera.
What the f***?
Some sort of shadow reached out for the dog, and if you look closely enough, it seemed to be the paw of a cat. The annoying thing about paranormal events like this, though, is that you can never be too sure that it actually was a ghost. So Emily and her family could not seek assistance due to a lack of liable proof. But if something else happens in their household, I will include it in one of my videos, so subscribe. The following video was another ghost hunting expedition which was carried out by two British men this time around. They were visiting a house without much research behind it, and the only link to the paranormal was a note that the old owners left claiming that it was haunted, but it was definitely worth a shot for some content. The duo set up some cameras all across the household to be sure that they did not miss anything, and this plan definitely worked because once they left a room, this happened.
We need to just get on with an investigation. Should we get some equipment?
Yeah.
I'm going to stand in here, just in case.
Yeah, good idea.
Shall I leave my camera in here for a bit? No. Did you not hear that then? That was in there again. The camera's in there. No. Did you not hear that then? That was in there again. The camera's in there. I don't know why I said no. Like.
Okay.
Like you're a dog or something. Oh. Just stop. Stop. Hello? There's someone walking towards me. I swear to God.
What the fuck?
Just stop. Seriously. I don't know if I can just hear like the remnants of of me walking through now, but
yeah,
almost clear as day. Like not even heavy. I'm gonna leave my cat. What? Let's get. Jesus Christ, I feel mental, and you?
Do you know what? It's gone so mental that I don't even feel like we've got the right equipment to pick this up. What do I use?
I don't know. Should we rethink?
The man wearing a cap heard something drop to the floor from the other room, and fortunately, the camera also picked up this sound. He decided to double back and investigate what could have caused the sound, and he swore that some footsteps were heading in his direction. The camera did not manage to pick up these steps, but based on the reaction from the man, it is safe to say the story is believable. The following video took place in the office of Dom, a middle-aged employee in the economics business. His job was to calculate all of the revenue and profits of the business he was working for, which was extremely difficult considering how many sales they averaged. The job would involve updating things every 5 or so minutes, and it was ridiculously tiring. So tiring, in fact, that it forced Dom to sleep on the shift one time, and if it was not for the spirit on scene, who knows how much he would have missed, potentially facing the sack. Dom's office phone started calling, and it was a loud and repetitive sound, enough to make anybody rise from their slumber. Unsurprisingly, it did the same for Dom, and he went to answer. However, what he heard was not nice. According to him, the thing on the other end told him he was being watched, and assuming it was a prank, he hung up immediately. Little did he know this was not the case, and he would suffer from paranormal activity for the rest of his time in the office until he eventually decided to leave. Abdul was a painter and a very good one to say the least. He was one of the most popular people in town for paint jobs, and it was no wonder he made a living off it. In several interviews for his local newspaper regarding his quick jump to success, Abdul explained how painting was a relaxation method for him, and he was essentially being paid to be in his element, which was perfect. I guarantee you he would not have made this statement if he knew of the severe drama that was about to occur on one of his missions, and it was insane to say the least. Take a look.
يلا خير يلا خير دو ګوره ها يلا خير يلا خير مرګرو څوک به د کور کې نشته دو ګوره ها يلا خير يلا خير قل اعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس اله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنه والناس يلا خير موږ سو بیره مرګرو دا کور دم کو او تاسو کله د جنکو نمبر را لګي کله د مرګرو نمبر را لګي دا اوس غب نه دی مرګرو ماته نمبر راسین کې د چا سره چې نمبري د مولا ماته راسین کې سیدا پلیز تاسو مهرباني وکړئ دا نمبر راسین کې دا وګورئ ښه هیڅ څوک به دې کور کې نشته او دا حال دې دا وګورئ ښه یا الله خیر یا الله خیر یا الله خیر یا الله خیر دا وګوره ښه روزانه دا علي ښه موږ څو بیرې دا کور دم کو یا الله خیر خدای خیر یا الله خیر.
In the front porch of the house which Abdul was doing his work at, all sorts of mysterious activity started to happen, and it was very obvious that these things were caused by some form of paranormal entity. After witnessing such a bizarre series of events unfold, Abdul informed the house owners of what happened and refused to come back to this property ever again. They called him lazy and tried to file a lawsuit, but due to the evidence that Abdul was able to obtain, they failed, and he was happy to continue his business elsewhere. If you are a regular here on Haunter, I am more than sure that you have seen me discuss Roland with you before. Roland is the most featured creator on this channel due to his high volume of engaging paranormal captures, and some of them are so wild that it is hard to believe he experiences things like this every week of his life. These doubts are instantly shut down when you see his clips due to how realistic and eerie they truly are, with the following one being no different. It took place in his house, as per usual, which has been haunted for a long period of time now. Most people would attempt to banish spirits from their home, but Roland decides to keep them around so that he has material to continue making videos for his large YouTube channel. Unsurprisingly, this material keeps on coming, and here are some of his best recent ones.
Are you a positive energy? A negative energy? Can you let me know what kind of energy you are? Oh shit! Oh, look, it is fucking moving. What the fuck? This is the boot. This is the boot from the doll.
Now, before this clip started, Roland placed down 2 ornaments and gave the spirit some very clear instructions. If it gave off positive energy, then it should tilt towards the turtle, and if it was carrying negative energy, it should move to the opposite ornament. Unfortunately, it did the latter, and Roland now knew what he was dealing with. Like usual though, he kept his cool and started filming all around the house for more evidence of a spiritual presence. And he definitely found a good amount of it. He did a full search down of the house until he came right back to where he started, the kitchen. Roland was relieved that he did not see anything else in the house, but on the other end was disappointed that he failed to gain any more content, or did he?
Is there a spirit moving this drawer right here?
That boot is now gone.
Just disappeared. If there's a spirit in here, let me know where the boot is.
Once he revisited the kitchen, he was swarmed with a cold feeling again, and due to his experience in the field, he knew why this feeling had come about. Calmly, Roland beckoned the spirit to move the drawer and then started filming, only to catch it opening on its own accord. We will continue to showcase Roland's hauntings on the channel, to make sure to subscribe in order to not miss it. Similar to Roland, Mikhailo is another face that we are starting to see frequently on the channel, and he is renowned for his paranormal experiences. While Roland finds his own house being haunted by spirits though, Mikhailo goes out and seeks poltergeists himself in a business known as the ghost hunting industry. These hunters are hired by homeowners who believe their place to be haunted, and their goal is to exterminate all entities from the property. The upcoming series of clips come from one of Mikhailo's most recent ghost hunts, and they are eventful to put it lightly. Let's just say his paycheck must have been pretty large for him to remove this thing. For some reason, all sorts of crazy movements happened in this room, with the harshest one causing the entire cabinet to collapse. However, that is the least of my concerns. What made this clip more disturbing than other paranormal sightings was the fact that several objects were moving at once. This meant that there must have been several ghosts in the room, because even poltergeists don't have the power of telekinesis. After capturing this and placing it into his evidence file, Mikhailo took the rest of the day to analyze it, but swore to be back for more. Stay tuned for future videos where his story will continue. On June the 23rd of 2017, Stephen was upstairs preparing to do the laundry as a nice surprise for his wife, when suddenly he heard a strange bang from what seemed like the kitchen. After roughly a minute of contemplating his next move, he decided to go downstairs and investigate the crime scene, and what he discovered was horrifying.
God, guys, I'm so scared right now. I just woke up and I went downstairs and all the cabinets are open, and I went to bed last night. These cabinets, they were closed, and I really think this poltergeist or spirit is really out to get me. But look, these cabinets, they were all closed last night when I went to bed, and I woke up, this is how they are. I'm really, really scared right now. Just want to shut all these. I figured I'd get it on camera so if something happens, at least it's documented. Alright. I think I'm just gonna go downstairs and chill out and edit for a little while. Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh fuck me. I gotta upload this. Before anything happens. And nobody gets to see this. Ow. Okay. I think I broke my ankle.
Towards the start of this clip, things were very unbelievable and seemed pre-planned, but moments later we got to see the true trauma that Stephen was forced to go through. All sorts of silverware and glasses started to fall from the shelves, which had been closed for a second time, almost confirming that Stephen was not staging the entire thing. In response to this, He informed his parents and they allowed him to stay with them at their house for a few weeks until he felt safe to enter again. This is the last update that we have received. The trend of getting fast food rather than taking your own time to make it is only going up across the United States, and this shows in the next video. It took place in Michigan and was captured using a Ring doorbell camera, which on the topic of trends are also going kind of crazy at the moment. Anyways, Adam's girlfriend Leona asked him to go and get them some food for the night, and being the amazing boyfriend he was, Adam accepted. Little did he know that there would be a surprise waiting for him at the doorstep. And no, it was not from his girl. In fact, no one has any idea what caused it. Now at first watch, I struggled to notice what actually went on in this clip, but after some investigating, I realized that some form of cloud figure glided past Adam while he was waiting for Leona to come and open the secondary door for him. To make things much creepier, Leona explained that she did not see anything but the camera, and Adam did. Was this just some visual wind from a certain angle, which would be very unlikely, or a real sighting of a poltergeist? Let me know in the comments. In visiting a haunted location, you are basically asking for something wild to happen, and this was the case for Scott and Travis, two very close friends who decided to explore an old morgue together. These two were what modern people would describe as each other's day ones. They had been friends ever since kindergarten and grew up together, finding the same hobbies and interests. They were basically perfect for each other. However, one difference stood between them. Travis was definitely on the more bold side, whereas Scott got frightened of things easily, and it took a lot of convincing from Trav to convince Scott to come with him on this trip. He succeeded though.
Yeah, it's a wicked place, isn't it? Yeah, I know. I was going to read up more about it and put it in the caption. Want to climb through it? Yeah, of course. Sick there, Bit fucking tight. A little bit tight, but it's fucking. Fuck me, this fellow.
Mate, I hope that was just the fucking wind. What the fuck?
Travis was the one who could be seen climbing through the hole, and whenever he was near Scott, nothing seemed to happen. Whenever he left Scott's presence, though, all sorts of stuff started to kick off, almost as if the spirit could sense that Scott was the weakest link. Since when did these poltergeists get so much power? Ghost sightings are more common than you think, with hundreds of new experiences being posted to social media every single day. However, there is one form of paranormal experience rarer than all others, and only a select few people get to live them. I don't know whether you would call seeing a spirit in this form very lucky or extraordinarily unfortunate, but I'll let you decide after watching the clip.
Bastante grafiteada. Si se pueden ver todas nuestras exploraciones de Punk Rock TV, mira que hay un cuartito. No hay nada. Ahí están así, digamos, están todas grafitadas, unos pequeños grafitis. Hay un pequeño cuarto. La ventana. Aquí hay una botella. A tomar aquí, aparte venía grafiteada. Más que nada es por el vándalo que vienen aquí. Y aquí están las pequeñas botellas que nos agarró la lluvia. Ahí está el agua. Entonces está chispeando afuera. Y ahorita gracias a nuestra amiga Kaylee vinimos a estas casas porque no las conocíamos. Ella sabe la ubicación. Y ahora sí que están bastante impresionantes, digo, las locaciones que tenemos nosotros. Pero nunca había como una casa así, la neta. Así que, pues, que... Cállate, cállate. Güey, no mames. Güey, verga, se escuchan niños allá afuera.
Ya vámonos.
Aguanta. No mames. No quiero ni subir. Porfa. Mami, verga, vas a ver quién en puto bosque en una casa abandonada, niños. Buenas noches. Habitación, güey. ¿Qué más? Buenas noches. No mames. No mames. Chica tu madre. Uy, vamos. Corre. Aguanta.
Strangely, two human figures poked their heads around the door, except something was off about them. They were fully blacked out. To add to the lore of this apparition, the man behind the camera was exploring a supposed haunted house where a male SA'd a girl and oofed her before oofing himself too. Very dark indeed. Martin, a cybersecurity specialist, had lost his job due to the numerous layoffs from the COVID-19 tech breakdown. For 2 years, he had been looking for a full-time job that would help him provide for his family. He had taken a few part-time gigs here and there to help him stay afloat, but he was barely surviving. With a pregnant wife and a 2-year-old to take care of, there was no way he could keep up with just gigs. One random Sunday afternoon, he decided to hack into a company he knew that handled the mail for most of the states in his region. It wasn't a big company, but he had a plan: hack the company and ask for a job. It worked. They realized they needed better cybersecurity infrastructure to keep their customers safe. They asked him to come over to their headquarters a few miles away. That meant one thing: Martin needed to sell his house. He put it up on an auction website, as he didn't want the hassle that real estate agents brought with them. The next day, he was on a video call with a prospective buyer when this happened.
Angelika, co robisz? Angelika? Co tu robisz? Co robisz?
Czytam.
Spadły ten... Stój ty na podłogę.
Ale jak spadło?
Widziałaś to? Ja pierdolę!
First, there was a slow noise coming from his bedroom that seemingly only he could hear. Then some utensils in the kitchen and the vase in his living room literally started moving before his eyes. Martin couldn't help but freak out. He had no idea that his house had poltergeist activity. The next day, he took out a loan from his friend and moved to the company headquarters with his wife and kids. He was sure he didn't even want to sell the house anymore. He just didn't want anything to do with spirits and all that paranormal stuff. Alexis had just moved into a new apartment in a new city. He had moved away from his wife and kids after losing everything he had built to her in a divorce case. He knew he would lose. He had cheated on Kira numerous times and wasn't surprised when the judge gave his verdict. However, that wasn't his major problem right now. Something else was. he had a poltergeist problem in his home and needed to solve it as soon as possible. He had noticed it 2 weeks after he renovated the rundown house. It was in terrible shape when he bought it, but it was cheap, and he just needed to spend a few $100s on renovations to get it into great condition. However, a few weeks in, he started noticing strange things. First, it was the flickering lights, then random banging on doors at night, and eventually, a total thrashing of his house at some point. He searched online and found a world-renowned exorcist who promised to get rid of all sorts of paranormal activity. All Alexis had to do was upload a video of the activity and send it to the exorcist for analysis. Alexis was able to capture this footage on 2 cameras. He heard some noise in his kitchen cabinet, a slow, somewhat rhythmic banging that seemed to be saying something. He checked it out with a camera in hand and sent it to the exorcist. After 2 weeks, he received this message. Run for your life. These types of activities are from territorial principalities. They own the house and I cannot help you. Alexis was struck by fear. That same day, he moved out and found a motel to stay in. In the end, he had to move back to his city, finding a house that he first vetted with a local exorcist. Julian was what most people would call a digital nomad. He had a 6-figure paying job and could work from anywhere in the world, so he decided to travel while working. After 2 months of staying in Bali, he decided it was time to move again. He wasn't sure where he was going, but he was certain he'd try a smaller city this time because the big cities always seemed crowded. Julian wanted some peace and quiet. He found a sleepy Swiss town called Corripio and decided to give it a try. When he got there, the town was exactly what he wanted: quiet. Julian worked from his Airbnb for a few days, but one day he decided to try out a cafe he had seen around. It was quiet and empty. There was no one in the cafe. Absolutely no one, not even an attendant. Julian decided to dust off a chair and table and sat there. He worked until dusk, and there was no sign of anyone walking in or out. It was very strange, but Julian brushed it off. It was a small town of about 25 people, plus tourists, so it wasn't really a big deal. The next day, the same thing happened, and the next, and the next. Julian decided to take a walk around the cafe after a few days of inactivity. That was when this happened. He literally saw one of the chairs on the balcony move on its own. He freaked out, took a few steps back, and ran. When he got downstairs, he packed his stuff and left as quietly as he had entered. The next day, he talked to his tour guide about what had happened, but she laughed it off, saying that it was normal. The cafe had been owned by a local, and now his spirit took care of the place, even though he was dead.